Okay, it's finally that part of the summer where it's not super hot, where you feel like you're sweating, or it's not like in the middle of a hurricane season. Like I can finally sit out in my balcony after setting it up since May and just like drawing, relaxing, reading out here. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think we're done with the heat, and I think we can finally enjoy ourselves outdoors and not feel like we're cooped up inside with the AC blasting. Okay, so I feel like the summer has really just flown by because it's like kind of nearing September now, and I feel like I really didn't do much besides work all the time, which is, not a bad thing. But at the same time, I feel like I need to just enjoy myself, enjoy the weather now that, especially since it's not so hot and it's not raining, it's like the perfect fall-ish weather, pre-fall, I guess. So I think the only thing that I'm going to do today is drop some packages off, and like this is the most I've ever dropped off. I feel like usually it's like one or two packages, and I don't know, it's like the first time I'm kind of like proud of myself that I got a few orders to drop off, and I've never thought that I would get to that point because, like I said, it's usually like one or two orders every now and then. But yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna do today. I'm probably gonna read. I'm pretty close to the dog park, so I'm gonna bring my dog with me and we're gonna just enjoy ours a little bit. Okay, so it's honestly so like rewarding for my dog, who's like such an introvert, to be playing with other dogs. I'm so glad he got to come out. But now, yeah, I think he's tired out. He's just like sniffing everything now. There's no more dogs. Everyone kind of left just because I think it's now lunchtime. So I think I'm just gonna go and like walk around the park a little bit before we head home, because we've only been here for like maybe 15 minutes, and I feel like he needs a extra walk or something. So right now I'm reading the Throne of Glass series. I'm on the fourth book right now. It is The Heir of Fire, and I got into the series because I read ACOTAR last summer and I really enjoyed it. It's the Court of Thorn of Roses, and everyone has been like raving about it, so I gave it a try. I loved it, so now I have to read all of Sarah J Maas's books. And I'm on the fourth book of this one, like I said, and it's just taking so long because I feel like I don't have time to read anymore, because I feel like back then, even when I had like a full-time job, like I found the time to just like make time to read, but nowadays I feel like I only have the time to read like right before bed for like 15 minutes or so. So I really want to just find time throughout the day to just like read a little bit here and there, because I really do love reading and it's starting to get like really good. I know it's like insane, but like I think like after the second book it was really good. And then the third book was like a prequel, so it kind of like slowed down a little bit again, but now it's picking back up on the fourth book. I think there is 7 books in the series, so I'm almost done with it. And then next year I'm gonna read Crescent City because I don't know if I can read another long series again. And I remember going to my library to pick up one of the books, and I saw Crescent City. It was like a gigantic book. I think like maybe 800 pages or so, and I was like, I can't do that. And that's also why I'm like reading on a Kindle, because I just don't want to know how long it is. I just want to like enjoy the journey a little bit without having the stress of knowing that it's like such a long ass book. But yeah, I'm just gonna take today to read a little bit. Okay, so before I end this video, I kind of just wanted to have a talk about like unemployment and how that's been going, just because I feel like I haven't given an update in quite some time now. So if you're new here, I have been unemployed since end of March, so it's August now, so it's about 4 or 5 months of being unemployed. I think at first I was super bummed out because, you know, like you're doing your best at a job and there's just no control of whether you're staying or going, and it just unfortunately happened to me. And I know that a lot of people are also going through this as well, so I know that I'm not alone in this. And so I feel like I took the last few months or this summer of like just living my best life with my small business, and it's something that I never got really the chance to do and give it my 100% to, which I really enjoyed. And I guess now that it's again 4 or 5 months, I have come to realize that I really enjoy what I do. I feel like I've been applying to full-time jobs every single week, if not multiple times a week, and I've gotten interviews, I've been in them, made it to final rounds, eventually never getting them, but I feel like going through these interviews and seeing all these jobs, like nothing really excites me. I think like maybe 1 or 2 like I could see myself working for, but nothing was like, oh wow, like I'm so excited to go back into the workforce and like put my small business in the back burner again. I just like don't see myself or wanting myself to do that. I find so much excitement just working for my small business, and I get that that's like everybody's dream of like working for themselves. So I feel like that's what I want to do. And like I feel like I've said this in the past when I first got laid off, is that I feel like I have the luxury, luckily, of being able to slowly transition into a full-time job again, and put all my eggs to my small business right now. And so you're probably wondering, why am I even looking for a full-time job if I love my small business so much? And to be honest, the biggest reason is financially. I would love to make more than my small business. I don't think it's at the point yet where I feel confident enough where I can just quit the full-time corporate life and just live off my small business. I don't feel like it is stable enough where I make the same monthly, if not more, monthly income for me to like pay myself and not just put all my money back into my small business, if that makes sense. Also, I feel like being in like corporate or working for someone else, you learn a lot about like so much about the business, so many new systems, things of that sort that you can apply to your small business. And I think like if you have the bandwidth and the energy to do both, like I would encourage you to stay as long as possible in another job, just so that you can learn as much as you can. And I think that's what I plan to do. I think I'm just gonna slowly try and find the perfect job for me. Because right now I don't think I want to go back to a company that I don't find myself passionate about. I feel like there were a few jobs in my past that I was like, I love going to work. No, just kidding. There were a lot of jobs that I felt like I loved what I did, and I could see myself doing it for multiple years without getting tired of doing it. But then there are jobs where I felt like it felt like a job, and I like dreaded Mondays and I looked forward to Fridays. But with my small business and again certain other jobs, I like looked forward to going to the office and like seeing my coworkers and working with them. So I think I am still very picky with my next job, but I would definitely be going back once I find that job. And while I think like this summer was absolutely amazing of just working on my small business, I feel like it was also really stressful in terms of finding a new job. And it makes sense because there are so many layoffs nowadays. I'm living in the tri-state area where a lot of tech companies and just companies in general are laying people off. So there's so much competition, and I feel like it just got to a point where I feel like for the first time that like I wasn't good enough to like get a job. Factually, like there are so many people looking for a job, and I think because of that reason of not feeling good enough, like I have just kind of like lost hope that I would find a full-time job at the moment. And because I feel like I'm not like good enough for a job, I feel like this is the first time where I am like lowering my standards, even though in the beginning of my job search I was like very picky, and I feel like I somewhat still am, but at the same time I feel like when I first started I was super picky, and I was like, I'm not accepting a interview. I'm not even applying to a job that doesn't meet my salary expectation. But nowadays, I feel like I am lowering myself and my self-worth because I want to get a job. But at the same time, it's just hard because I know that I am worth a lot more, but the competition is just so high at the moment that I feel like I can't get those better jobs, if that makes sense. So I'm like debating whether or not I should lower myself and my expectations or just take a job that's out there and that's willing to take me. But it's been a crazy ride because I've never been in a position where I feel like there's just so many people going for the same positions, because I did get laid off like in 2020 and it was not as crazy as this time around, I feel. Or maybe I was so like junior still that I could apply to more like entry-level jobs and still get a good paying job. I don't know, but now that I'm a little bit older, a little bit more senior, it's hard to get a job that's my level. On a lighter note, I feel like even though I want to be back in full-time for the time being, the last few months kind of gave me kind of like a glimpse of what it would be like to be full-time with my small business, and like I said before, I absolutely enjoyed it. I feel like this is the first time in my life I look forward to working. I enjoy work on the projects that I do, working for my small business. I feel like I'm working 24/7, and I am always thinking about like what I want to work on next, what I want to design next, and like the flow of ideas just never stops, even on a weekend. But like compared to a full-time job, like I'm clocked out at 5 and I don't work on the weekends, and I'm just like clocked out mentally and I don't think about work. But like with my small business, it's something that I'm constantly thinking about. When I'm like shopping or something, I'm like, oh, that's an idea that I can think about for my own small business. Or when I go to like a pop-up or see other small businesses, I'm like, oh, we could work together, we can like make these things together, we can work, like do so much. And I like just love working on my small business, if I have not said that enough. But yeah, that is the end of my kind of like venting, rant, little recap of how unemployment life is treating me. But hopefully stay along for the later vlogs of me kind of just trying to kill it at this small business game.